Right, hello everyone, and welcome to Escape from Tarkov. So, this has been around for a few years now. As you can see up here, it says beta. It's one of those betas where the stuff that's in it is extremely well done and functional, but there is still stuff they want to add. So let me just jump in here and show you slightly. So this is one example of why it's still in a beta. You've got Interchange Customs, Factory, Woods, Reserve, and the Lab as available places you can go. But and Shoreline. But Lighthouse, Terminal, Town, and Streets and Suburbs are not done yet. You know, they're maps they're still working on. So that's the kind of beta it is. Most of the core functionality is there. The kind of stuff that's not. If we go into the settings, there's a few little things. I can't even remember where they are now. Like, there's no tutorial hints. There's no option for subtitles. You can't prevent people from adding you as a friend. Blood isn't, and the language filter aren't in. You can't edit the interface layout. You know, it's nice to haves as opposed to core functionality. For the most part, so don't be too put off by the fact that it's called a beta, but definitely go and look into it if before purchasing. It's also got multiple tiers of purchase. The cheapest, you have to get it through them directly. It's not through Steam or anything. The cheapest is, I think it's 35 euros, and the higher tiers come with what look like buy to pay to win benefits. I will cover that after I've shown you some gameplay so that it starts to make more sense. But at any point in time, you can upgrade your account to the higher tier accounts. So even if you're tempted by the extra stuff, but you definitely want to get the game, buy the lowest tier, try it out for a reasonable length of time, then upgrade. Right. So we'll just jump straight in. I'll cover all of this rubbish later. One slight thing. So there are two terms that I will be using quite a lot, which is scav and PMC. PMCs are your persistent character that levels up as you go. If it dies, it loses anything it's carrying. It's got skill development. It's always a player-controlled character. Within PMC, there are two factions that you can pick. One is Bear, which is effectively the Russians, and one is, I can never get the acronym right. It's like USNC or something, which is let's get that right. If I jump in here, there should be someone queuing in the list that we can get the name from. USEC, which is effectively the Western forces, but that's. The only real difference is the kind of gear you start with and the graphical look of it. Scav is the other type. So scav can mean two things. There are player scavs, scav being short for scavenger, one would assume, and there are AI scavs. So these, you get given a completely random loadout. So at this time, I got a military helmet, a vest. No, it doesn't look like there's any armor, and what looks like a pretty rubbish shotgun, probably with a rubbish selection of ammo to go with it. Every time this dies, a new one of these will be generated. It doesn't use your name, it uses a random Russian-ish sounding name. And it will get different gear each time. It doesn't have any persistent leveling, it doesn't contribute towards your main character's XP in any way. However, anything it picks up and finds in the map, if it escapes the map, you get to transfer it to your main character. So it's basically a free way for you to try and get loot if your main character doesn't have anything. The AI scavs I mentioned are AI things that are around the map that will attack all PMCs on site. They will not attack player scavs unless you have killed one of them. So if you see me sort of spot a guy and not nail him in the face, it's because it's probably an AI scav. And I don't want to upset them because they're a good early warning sign. And why have more people to shoot at you if you don't need them to? So that's what I'm talking about when I say PMC, Scav, Bear, or I can never remember the other one, so I'd probably just call the other one PMC. Right, we're going to do customs because that's the map I have... Now, the in-game maps are pretty rubbish, so what I've done for you guys is we should have, if I push this button, a third-party map of the customs map. So generally, the escape points are around the edges. There's some of them are named. I will try and do description. So you spawn randomly on that map. Let me keep it up. You can spawn randomly somewhere on this map, and usually your escape point is the opposite end of the map. There's loot scattered around. Some areas are locked and you need specific keys for them, which come from this or potentially other game areas. You know, you may have to go on another map complete to get those keys. There will be players in there. If we're spawning in a scav, we may join partway through the game, so half the loot may already be gone. And we also have, as you can see down here, 2 times a day to pick. So currently midnight or midday. Midnight will be horrible. You will not see anything. And if they have night vision and you don't, you get screwed. Is the gear the scav starts with always low tier? Not always. Generally, if you're going to get something good, you'll get something good. Like one of the ones I had the other day, I had a really nice sniper rifle. But I had no backup for it, no secondary for it, no decent armor, a absolutely rubbish helmet. So you get something good sometimes. So this is telling me I don't have an in-game map, but they're pretty awful, so I rely on the third-party one. If you see me looking up towards my top screen on the live stream in the camera, that's me looking at the third-party map. This is your opportunity to join groups. So as a scav, you can join up to a group of 4 players, so you can work together. As PMCs, you get the option to join up to a group of 5. And it's all done through the in-game thing like this. So we'll ready up. Now, it's quite an in-depth simulation. The gunplay is not arcadey at all. There are some really nice features. You can check how many bullets are in your magazine to know how many bullets are in your magazine. It doesn't just tell you, unless it's one you've brought with you from the start, which one you'd assume you've packed it yourself and would know. You have to check whether there's something in the chamber. If you've picked up a gun off the floor, you know it might not have something in the chamber. You have to manually load ammo into magazines. You don't just have an infinite supply of them. So you can have loose ammo and magazines, and then top up the magazines with the loose ammo. There's variable levels of crouching, variable speeds for walking. You make more or less noise depending on your stance and your speed. So if I'm being very quiet, it's because I'm listening. Sound is a massive part of this game. You will want a very good pair of headphones on as opposed to surround sound speakers. The ammo and armor system is extremely detailed as well. There's layers of armor and levels of armor, and the penetration physics are pretty well modeled. Oh, and it's raining. Okay, so we need to go to the railroad to military base and the old gas station to escape. So I pull this up. The old gas station is in the bottom middle. You can see old gas station. It's the bit that's like hanging off the bottom of the map. And the railroad to military base is number 14 is the top middle. Oh, sorry, it's near the top right, but not quite all the way in the top corner. It says road to military base. Okay, I have started. Oh, where is this? So half the point problem is working out where on earth you started. Looks like one of the factory complexes. I don't know which one. If I get inside the building, I might be able to... Oh, crap, that body already. So you don't know what's on them in their pockets. You have to actually search their pockets. And he has pistol magazine. So we've got a 4-shot shotgun, some body armor, a helmet. So these two are nice. This not so much. Bags, pretty rubbish, but you could have none at all. We've got a tactical rig with some healing material. Cheese, some people call it. Like, it actually heals your health. Here's your health, by the way. Different parts of your body have health. You can lose a leg, or lose the use of a leg. You've got food and water for energy and temperature control. I don't think temperature's really used much at the moment. Same for the radiation and the other looking thing. You can see our shotgun actually has a tack light on it. Turn on and off. I hear someone walking. It's not good. That. I can't tell if that's a player or not. No, I think that's an AI. Maybe not. I suck. Got him though. Right, now we're going to be bleeding horribly and have no meds. Yep, look. So we're bleeding, pain, blood loss. Right, we can stop blood from one of them. Because we've got a bandage. So we lost the use of both arms and one leg, so we're going to be hobbling around. This is going to go terribly from now on. I missed that first shot because I was busy glancing at the side screen. Hopefully he's got some further meds on him. Also, you can hear we start making crap tons of noise when we're in horrible pain. Did we reload? Yeah, we're full. He was shooting at someone. I'd say it's that body over there. So, who are you, sir? Don't know. Have you got an AK? Face cover. I'm gonna guess this was maybe a player scav? I could have just shot a regular one, but he looks like he's got too much loot to be an AI. Jeez, come on. No. Lunchbox, not good. Oh, he's got nothing helpful. Okay, we'll transfer shotgun shells, discard ours, steal his tactical rig, because it's better. So that's an AI. That's why he didn't shoot me. Alright, there's more bodies around. What have we got? Shotgun shells, I'll take them. He's got the same gun as me. I'll have his knife. Trade that in later. Someone remind me to show you the knife trade in later. Yeah, we're still bleeding. I know we're still bleeding, game. I'm trying to find a bandage, honest. Oh, that's gunshots outside. He's empty. Who else could he have been shooting at? Right, I'm just going to take a minute to try and work out which building I'm in. I think I'm in that one, which means if there's going to be any loot, it's going to be down this end. We have a long way to go to get out. We've got to cross the... So as far as I can tell, we are down near the bottom left, where that leftmost picture of a key is in customs. I think that's where we are. And we've got to get all the way across to the right hand side of the map for either of our two escapes. Whilst bleeding. Because, you know, why not? Gun parts and magazines. Not helpful for my immediate problem. Actually. So you can see what happened here. He had this gun. He had these magazines in it. And he fired the 10 shots he had and couldn't reload in time before we killed him. But 10 shots was quite enough to put us in a horrible position. No, the bleeding will eventually kill me. You can see the health going down here. I had an I'll say nice run on my PMC the other day. I got 11 kills. Was chocked full of loot, but the last one managed to put a bleed on me, and I'd already used up all my bandages because I'd already been in 10 other fights. And it did not go well for me. Now, if I know this map, there should be some med supplies in that hut in the distance. But as we can see from the screen, it is not going well for me. I may not make it that far. So the loss of limbs, the arms will mean my aim wobbles all over the place. The leg means I can't run, and well, you can see that. If I took some painkillers, I would regain use of them for a period of time. Depending on which painkillers I took. Alright, duffel bag. Empty, which means someone's probably been in here. Oh, where's the med supplies? Oh, it's not a med supply, it's a cabinet. Wrong shape on my map. Nearest med supplies are actually away from where we want to go. But I'm not going to get across the map without them, so... Popping this back up again. Where I'm heading is that left part called storage. One of the locations there has some medical supplies. So while we're hobbling and coughing ourselves to death, if I draw your attention to the bottom left, you can see the little white bar with the arrow going left to right. That's me adjusting the speed that I want to move with the mouse wheel. The slower you go, the less noise you make. The less likely people are to hear you coming. If you crouch and walk, you're pretty much silent, but it depends what you're walking on. If you're walking on chunks of broken metal and concrete and stuff, it makes noise. Alright, here's the route in. I'm not being particularly stealthy or tactical because I'm going to bleed to death if I don't hurry. Sure it's along here somewhere. Oh, barbed wire. This one? Maybe it's in the back of this car. I'm just basing this off of the map. I've not actually been here before. Oh. That's looking hopeful. Come on, be good. Painkillers. And a CMS kit. Oh, we just lost the use of the other leg because we're bleeding to death. Come on, jab that morphine. No, I think he's stapling himself. Jeez. No, it doesn't. It's not what I thought it was. CMS kit. Treatment of bullet wounds and serious injuries, but not bleeding. Maybe. Nope, still bleeding. I'm going to keep using it and see if it does what it's supposed to. But I suspect I'm going to... Yeah. Epic face in the chat confirms this won't fix my bleed. It sort of recovers my arm, but then I bleed it back out again. Gonna die quietly in there if we make it that far. Goodbye, cruel world. And this. Oh, why can't I hear footsteps outside? Was that me stepping on something? Four. 3. A reasonably good hole as well. One last smoke. Now, what I should have done is not get distracted by something on my side screen in the chat window when I was busy aiming for a guy. Although, in fairness, I wasn't 100% convinced I should have been shooting him, but live and learn. Yeah, so we killed Petya Electronic, but and it says Scav, but I'm pretty sure that was a player based on what he had. We killed him by hitting him in the stomach. So we lost 10 limbs. I'm guessing that's because we kept repairing them with that thing at the end. Kilometers traveled, bodies looted, weapons found. Damage dealt to body 389. So we used 5 ammo and hit 16 times, which means we were using buckshot. Scavs killed. Yep. So what would have happened is we would have had a nice little loot screen there. Right. So now I can explain everything else that goes on in here. So if we go to the character screen. So this is the PMC character. This is what you would take out with you. So on the left you got, you know, the bits of gear you'd be wearing. Your tactical rig, what's in your tactical rig. Pockets, backpack. So a backpack gives you more to carry, but it slows you down. There are different types of backpack. The important bit that this ties into with the different account types you can buy is this bit here, this pouch alpha container. So if you get the highest edition, this becomes a gamma container and it will be wider and deeper. I think it's 4x4. I'm not 100% sure on it because obviously I don't have one. The significance of this container is if you die, the stuff in here you keep, you do not lose. So that's why I've got my key tool in here, because it's got all my keys on it, and some med gear for now in case I get slotted right at the start. If I find anything that's really nice and I want to keep that will fit, then I will drop it in here instead and move one of these out. So if you buy the higher editions, you can get more stuff out of a raid. You'll also start with more stuff. So this is your stash. This is all the stuff I've collected. Buying the higher editions, you start with more stuff. But if you take it into a raid and you die, it's gone. So it's paid to have a slightly better advantage initially. But because you're probably new to the game, you're extremely likely to just lose it. I know some people recommend the shiny new stuff you get given, sell it off so you've got money, so that you can, when you know what you're doing, get what you need, and so that you have an easier time sort of leveling. But you know, that's all personal preference. But so I would argue quite strongly that it's not pay to win. It's pay to have a slightly easier time of the meta game. Because because you're not really in competition with the other people. If you see someone with better gear than you, it could be because they just have better gear than you. It could be because they got it through the better version. You're going to treat it the same. You're probably going to avoid them. Or, you know, you just bring some friends and mow them down, take their gear, and then it's yours. Yeah. As you can see, you end up with a lot of crap. So as I was mentioning earlier, there are a lot of varieties of ammo. So this row here is just my 5.45 by 39. So you've got BP, BS, BT, PS. I think that's just 2 stacks of PS. And they all have different penetration physics. The wiki tells you everything you need to know about all that kind of stuff. You got armor piercing tracer, etc., etc. We have a look. Do I have any body armor? No, I used up my body armor. You got backpacks. You can store backpacks in backpacks, and then backpacks in backpacks. Because why wouldn't you? Right. So you then have persistent skills, which are leveled up by doing things, including resistance to injury, shock, shaking hands, and tremors, which I'm pretty sure levels up from you getting shot. It's all quite interesting. And memories changes the rate they decay at. I don't know if they actually decay. I probably haven't been playing long enough to see it. Yeah, as Tristan says, you can pay extra money to get killed and lose the gear you paid for. So that's why I would highly recommend you buy the cheapest version, and then decide whether you like it before you even remotely consider a more expensive one. Also, these containers, you can level them up in-game, like without having to pay anything, to the point where I believe the best one you can get is better than the one that people can buy into. I'm not saying it's quick, but it is there. You also get some nice cases like this, which is where you store all your guns, or whatever you want. This is that nice sniper rifle I was talking about. So I had a scav spawn with this lovely bolt-action sniper rifle. I was playing with Predator at the time, who, in complete contradiction, spawned with a terrible, terrible shotgun. So he was bait, and just after he got killed, I laid in the bush and then I shot the guy who killed him, and then used that guy's body as bait. So whenever anyone went to go and loot that body, I shot them in the head. And just before the timer ran out on the map, I went over, looted a lot of them, and legged it. But yes, now, I was talking to you about those daggers, wasn't I? So that's these things. So this takes us on to the traders. Basically, what you can do, you get 8 of these, which you will, anytime you play as a scav, you'll spawn with one. So any scav you escape with, or any scav you kill and loot and take one, you'll get one. 8 of those can be traded for an MP5 at some of the traders. So, to continue the example I was going with there, we go to Peacekeeper, go to this tab here, which is barter items. You can see 8 knives gets you an MP5. 4 of this other type of knife gets you a P226. You can trade in a hard drive for a backpack, some lighters for some grenades. So all of these traders specialize in different things. So Ragman, for example, he specializes in clothing. You can trade for body armor from face masks, backpacks for chocolate, dog tags for a backpack. Therapist, as the name implies, is the doctor. You can get yourself some healing kits for some bug spray. Duct tape. But also, these guys offer tasks. So we can see I've got a task active at the moment with Prapor, who wants me to go and get him a bronze pocket watch, which is located in a specific truck on the map we were just playing, which you have to find the key to get into. I managed to find the key last night, so at some point I will have a go at getting that. And what that gets you is some experience for your character, some standing with Prapor, which is up here. You can see to get the next loyalty level with him, you need a certain amount of standing, and to have either sold to him or bought from him 1,000,000 rubles worth of stuff, and be level 15. That then unlocks more things. You get some rubles, you get a pistol, get some pistol mags if you complete that. So you got some nice little quests going on the side. I think Therapist has got another one for me. So she wants me to find 5 Saliwa kits, which are a type of healing kit. You can craft them. I'll get to that in a minute. And you would get all of this stuff for that. Yeah, the early game quests are painful. What else can I explain? So you sell stuff to these guys as well, and each of them pays a different amount for something. So, for example, he won't actually buy any of this stuff except the helmet, for which he'll pay 4,157. We go to, I don't know, say this guy. Did he buy that? The comparison? No. Fragment might. He'll only pay 3,723. So different traders will buy things for you at different prices. From you at different prices. Pence will buy basically anything that gives you terrible prices, but he's quite handy to come in and you do a search on these items you've never seen before. Down in the bottom right, you'll notice XP gain. But that's not particularly interesting to watch, so I will come back and do that another time. The Flea Market is another option. At level 5, this opens up. This is the player-controlled auction house, basically. So you can buy. I don't know. Let's put nuts. Screw nuts. There you go. You need some screw nuts. I'll show you why in a minute. You can buy them. So these are barters. So these people want to trade certain things. So this guy wants some chocolate. This guy wants some bolts. Or you can filter it to say remove barter, and you can just pay with money. But obviously if you want something and people know you're going to want something, they're going to push the price up. So what else can I show you? Epic Face has just made a very good point. A good example is this one. A gun is actually made up of constituent parts, which you can strip off or add on. So this one has, is it a dove? It's a reflex sight. That's the sight on it. I could strip that off, sell it away separately. Usually you want to strip at least some of the parts off the gun before you sell it, because you will get more that way. I think this one is an interesting gun. It has an integral magazine, I believe, which you can hand feed into, or you can stick an actual magazine on it as well and then hand feed into that. I might be thinking of the SKS as opposed to the Hunter. These guns have the stocks folded. You can unfold the stock so that it's more controllable. But if you do so, move it down here so I can show you. Hang on, my face is in the way. Let me move it down there so I can show you. So it's 6 squares. If I unfold this, it goes up to 8 squares. So you'll find a lot of people carrying them folded, and then you want to unfold them if you tend to use them. And the last thing to show you is the Hideout. So this is your persistent base. So if we have a look, my water collector has just finished construction. To build it, I needed to find 4 corrugated hose, 4 bolts, 4 screw nuts, and 3 bits of duct tape. It then took a couple of hours to build. And what it does is it replenishes the hydration rate of your main PMC character after a raid, with a bonus of 6 WP per hour. And there'll be a load of other stuff in here you can upgrade, but the one that most people are interested in is the stash. The current stash size is 10 by 26. That's the thing you saw with me having all my items in it. If I upgrade it, 10 by 36. But to do that, you need 3.5 million rubles and some other bits. This is the other thing that gets massively upgraded by buying the larger versions. So you can store more junk. Because everyone's a pack rat and likes hoarding junk. Last bit The scav thing, you're like, oh, why don't you just play the scav all the time? There is a cooldown timer. After you finish a scav mission, you have 20 minutes before you can use him again. He looks like he's got... I can't tell what that is. I want to say an MP7, but I don't think it is. I think it's an Uzi, maybe? I don't know. I don't know the smaller guns well enough. But it looks like it's got an integral, or it's got a silencer on it. We got these horrible goggles, baseball cap, vest, no real armor by the look of it. I'm going to save the PMC for when someone hopefully comes and joins us later. But for the guys watching this back on YouTube later, that's where I'm going to end the intro video to Escape from Tarkov. Hopefully it has informed you one way or the other, and you can go off and research further if it's something you're interested in.